So hello guys, and welcome back to another video in our channel. In our video today, we are going to do an in-depth analysis of the 2-3 victory of Chelsea over Nottingham Forest. So this game was very tactical, as Mauricio Pochettino had to make a tactical tweak to see his team get all 3 points, and we are going to look at what that tweak was. So in the recent 2 games, Mauricio Pochettino has preferred to deploy Cucurella as an inverted fullback. However, in this game, Nuno Espirito Santo had actually come up with a way to try and counter this Pochettino tactic. Now, you can see from this clip here, the position of Cucurella as an inverted fullback alongside Moises Caicedo. But Mauricio Pochettino, in his tactical setup, actually lined up Chelsea in this way, but Nottingham Forest had been prepared to know how to counter this and make this tactic ineffective, and we are going to see how. So Nuno knew that deploying of a 3-4-3 would enable him to be able to effectively counter against this formation. In fact, sometimes they even went into a 5-3-2, and the 2 midfielders' main aim was to deny Chelsea's double pivot anytime and space on the ball. And I'm going to show you tactically how Nuno Espirito Santo managed to do this. Before we start our analysis, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. So Nottingham Forest did not press aggressively high against Chelsea, rather decided to sit in a mid block, allowing Chelsea's centre-backs to receive the ball directly from the goalkeeper. Chelsea's front 3 started out quite wide, with Cole Palmer moving into the right half space and Conor Gallagher moving into the left half space. But this back 5 really took away Chelsea's threat, and Cucurella managed to come into midfield as Chelsea tried to create that box-shaped midfield. Now, because Nottingham were pressing in a 5-2-3, they were able to have their forwards effectively pressing the Chelsea centre-backs and denying them time and space on the ball. And this really hindered Chelsea from building from the back, and sometimes they just went back to the goalkeeper. And Nottingham retained their position of just pressing the 2 centre-backs. Now, one would say that the pass into midfield was effective. No, but Nottingham pushed their pivots onto the 2, Cucurella and Enzo, and they were not afraid to use their wide centre-backs to step in field and try to cover the 2 number 10s, forcing Chelsea to play backwards because the wing-back would also be touch tight on the winger. Now, this man-to-man approach really created a lot of problems for Chelsea. From this clip here, you can see a ball has been attempted to be played to Cucurella in midfield, and Nottingham Forest's double pivot has managed to push forward and win the ball off Cucurella. And now, after Nottingham Forest have won the ball, they are now running at Chelsea's back 3. And initially in the first half, Chelsea were quite shaky because Nottingham Forest had come up with a tactic where they were able to cover Chelsea's central overload using their back 3. Now, because of this system, Chelsea had to adapt, and Cole Palmer decided to shift onto the left-hand side and Conor Gallagher to the right. So Mudryk decided to stay touch tight with the wing-back, and Cole Palmer did not play in this position, but rather decided to drop deep to try and even out things in the midfield, getting uncertainty for Willy Bolly whether he will drop deep to cover him and create space in the backline or stay back. And now Palmer would be able to receive the ball and immediately look to hit at the space just behind Willy Bolly. And that's how Chelsea managed to score their first goal. So you will see Mudryk making a run, and he knew Mudryk would beat the fullback with pace. He decided to play that ball in space, and Mudryk managed to effectively make a run in that space and score a goal. You can see here, Palmer has dropped deep, and now the pivot who was picking Cucurella has to come deep and try to stop him. Palmer identified the position between the centre-back and the wing-back. Palmer plays a weighted, perfect pass in that left half space channel, and Mudryk is able to make that blind-sided run behind the wing-back, ready to win the ball and to score the goal. Mudryk gets the ball, and his finishing was so good. Under tight pressure and under a very short, small angle, he was able to finish well, putting Chelsea 1-0 up. So Chelsea were clumsy, especially in a set piece where Jackson really left his marker boldly, and the game went back to 1-1. And the other tactic that I'm going to talk about that Nottingham Forest deployed that Chelsea were not able to see, and that is how they used Callum Hudson-Odoi. So when Chelsea now were deciding to build up, Mauricio Pochettino realized that Nottingham were really creating that 5-man overload in the central of the pitch to deny Chelsea any penetration down the center. And because their wingers were only isolated in the wide areas and were covered by the wing backs, this really created a lot of problems. And Nottingham sometimes won the ball and looked to immediately hit on the counter. And Gibbs White and Hudson-Odoi really created a lot of problems for Chelsea in this position. Luckily for Chelsea, they managed sometimes to get back and actually deny Nottingham an opportunity to score a goal. Now, also looking at further at the tactical structure, in the second half, Mauricio Pochettino realized that there was wide spaces on either side. And in this case, because the wingers had come in narrow to cover Cucurella and also deny Chelsea that space, Chelsea decided to move into a back four. And now they were outnumbering Nottingham's back three, and Cucurella moved outside, now giving Chelsea that 2v1 overload in the wide areas. And now the wing backs now had a problem, whether they should cover the fullback, whether they should cover the winger. And in the right-hand side, Chalobah tried to push forward to try and create that overload with Gallagher and Noni Madueke, but Madueke was not quite great. And down the left-hand flank, also Cucurella had to move there. And this now forced Nottingham to push their wingers behind. And because Pochettino wanted to use conventional fullbacks, he needed to make some tactical substitutions because Chalobah was not quite great. And even sometimes Silva could carry the ball forward, throw in a marker and try to create spaces in the forward areas where he would play the ball to the likes of Gallagher, dropping in Jackson and Cole Palmer to try and have Chelsea having players in between the line. So Chalobah was taken off for Malo Gusto, and now Chelsea had threat down the right. Nkuku was also taken, Noni Madueke was also taken out for Nkuku, and Raheem Sterling came in for Mikhailo Mudryk. And now when Chelsea decided to have that 5-man attack, they had a lot of threat, with Sterling looking to cut in from that left-hand flank and Cole Palmer looking to hug that left half-space channel, with Malo Gusto looking to generate the width down the right. And even sometimes we saw him trying to make those crosses in the box for runners. Now, again, Mauricio Pochettino made a substitution that a lot of us did not manage to understand. And also when Gusto would push forward to try and attack, we started to see Nottingham Forest playing the ball in that space vacated by Gusto. And that is how Hudson-Odoi managed to actually score the second goal, because Gusto now was tracking back, but Gusto also did not play well, because he allowed Hudson-Odoi to cut in with his strong right foot rather than try to limit him in that position. So Rhys James came in to create to add physicality down the right hand side, and Cuckoo moved into the number 10 position, and Cole Palmer moved to the right half space position. And now Chelsea were having Cuckoo and Palmer in those inside channels position, with even sometimes Gusto looking to tuck in and draw in a wing back, and this opened up space for Rhys James. And Caicedo played a carefully weighted pass over the top for Rhys James, who received the ball in space and made a sublime cross onto Nicholas Jackson, who finished it off, and Chelsea managed to get their third goal. You can see Gusto has decided to tuck in, and he has dragged Nottingham Forest's wing back in midfield. And now Caicedo receives the return ball, and he can immediately see how Rhys James is free. Plays the ball to Rhys James, who's receiving the ball in a very dangerous position in the right half space. And now he has runners making runs because Nottingham's full wing back had been drawn in. Now, interestingly is how Chelsea deployed the left-hand flank, especially with the role of Raheem Sterling. So the left-hand flank, Cucurella, playing in a much wider position, would draw a winger onto himself and give Sterling that opportunity to make a run over the fullback, with Cucurella making that dummy conventional fullback run. And we started to see Sterling receiving the ball in this position and Palmer dragging in markers away from him and Sterling actually having space to shoot goal. And that's how Sterling managed to run at Nottingham Forest's defense and actually score a sublime goal, securing Chelsea the comeback and Nicholas Jackson securing Chelsea the win. So this game also showcased that Pochettino can rely on both Gusto and Reece James, because Reece James can tuck into play as a right centre back and can also play as an overlapping fullback. Gusto can also play in the wide areas, he can come in field, and this gives Mauricio Pochettino a lot of flexibility with regards to his fullbacks and his tactics. This is also another tactical setup that Mauricio Pochettino has really come up with that is working well. The return of Reece James is also quite interesting. So Mauricio Pochettino is currently looking that his season is ending well, and he's currently just a point behind Newcastle, who are in 6th place, and will be looking to try and win his last 2 games and hope that maybe Newcastle can drop points and he can secure his position in the Europa League next season. If you've enjoyed this analysis, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.